In this video, we're going to explore how to make custom scales within Infinitone 2. There are many approaches to doing this. This video will explore some of the basic ways to begin to experiment, and other videos will get into more advanced methods. I always recommend starting with a template if you want to create your own scale. We're going to go to Scale Builder Lite. There's Scale Builder Feast and Scale Builder Lite. The Lite one has fewer options. The Feast has more options if you want some more advanced ways of creating scales. We'll start with Lite here, and we're going to go to Harmonic Palette Smooth. You'll see here that it shows the white keys, and that means that all of the scales will be mapped to the white keys. This makes it a lot easier to experiment with scales because you're just running your fingers up and down the white keys without having to worry about the interference of the black keys. I'm going to click this icon up here and go to the advanced view. And you'll see here at the top that there are some colored lines. That represents the scale that's currently available as the default. You'll see here that there are some colored lines, and there are also some gray lines. What I'm doing to zoom in and out of this is I'm using the zoom function on my trackpad. Infinitone works on basically a master set subset structure. So over here is the tuning generator. And what this is doing is it's generating a whole bunch of notes. And we're only selecting a few of those notes at a time. And what that does is it creates a structure on which you can place your notes. So it's a little bit like a 12-tone equal temperament, how you have 12 notes, but a scale might only consist of 7. In this case, we have 128 notes in the scale, and we only have here 7 selected. So you can see the tuning here, and you can see the number of notes here. So what this allows you to do is, instead of just stabbing in the dark about what you want your notes to be, you can have a selection of possibilities. And in this case, it's a harmonic tuning. And so pretty much whatever you choose, because it comes from the harmonic series, is going to work. So I really like beginning to experiment with creating your own custom scales on a harmonic tuning. So out of 128 notes, we have 7 notes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of take some of these notes and make them sharper or flatter as I wish. So I'm going to right click on this note here, which deactivates it. Then I'm going to right click on another note and make it a little bit flatter. This is kind of a bit of a quarter tone. There's another way of doing that. If you don't have a right click function, you can click on it and then go down here in the note inspector and click include, exclude. And that's another way you can include and exclude notes. So I'm going to make that a little flatter. I'm also going to take this major third here and make that a little flatter. And I'm hearing this note being actually sharper. Let's see. And you can, if it's not quite sharp enough, you can move it up a little bit. Kind of like that. And I'm just kind of going intuitively here. I'm just moving things around as I want to in the moment. So as a 7-tone scale, I like to have some solid perfect fifths in there, which sort of follows the tetrachordal structure of a lot of ancient Greek modes. And so I'm going to play this second note, and then I'm going to find a perfect fifth above that. So I'm going to zoom in here, make that flatter. It sounds a little bit sharp. That sounds pretty good. If you have perfect fifths in your tuning, everything just sounds structured and good. So I'm going to zoom in here too, and I'm going to try to find another fifth. Let's see. Kind of like that. It's not perfect, but I like it. It's close enough. That's a pretty wild scale. I like it. So I'm going to go to bell sound here, Whispers from Beyond. And when the notes are from the harmonic series and there's a lot of sustain, you can kind of hear how that works. So I like that scale. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over here to the inspector, to the scale inspector up here on the right. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to select another scale slot, and I'm going to paste that in. And I'm going to set translate. There are two here, translate and overrate. Translate means that it's going to take whatever notes are and find the closest approximation in the master set. And but here it doesn't really matter because the master set is always the same. It's all A. Now that I have one that I like, I'm going to do a second one. First, I'm going to name this. Let's see. Cool Scale 1. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to alter this a little bit. I'm now hearing, I want to make this even a little flatter. Let's go down here. Now I want to hear it like a major third, sharp major third. Oh, that's not a major third, like here. It's kind of cool. And then I want this to be sharper. And maybe even the fifth to be sharper. Now I'm going to do that same thing. I change the tetrachord. I'm going to find the matching perfect fifths up here. So let's see, I'm going to zoom in. It's not perfect, but I like it. Let's see what we're doing here. I like that. That sounds really cool. So we have this scale. We have this one. Now what we're going to do is I want to copy this and paste it into another slot here. And now I want to change the key of it. So this is in the key of C. That's the default here, just standard middle C. Now I'm going to type in F3 like this. And now we'll go to F. So over here, each of these scale slots has independent parameters. You can see that there's all these different parameters here. In this tutorial, we're just going to focus on the frequency, which is the fundamental frequency. So here is middle C, and then if I click this one, now it's F, because I put in F. So you'll see if I change it, the key will change, even though that I'm playing the same notes. Let's create a little chord progression here, and I'm going to copy and paste that again. And now I'm going to put in G3. So standard fundamentals, different microtones. So now we have 4 different scales in here. Let's see, cool scale 1. And let's see what I'm going to put here. Cool scale on C. Cool scale on F. And cool scale on G. All right. So now I have 4 different scales, and I like to be able to switch these scales in real time. So I'm going to go here and back to the simple view, and we have a way of doing that in Infinitone, and that is key mapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lower black keys here. I'm going to go to Edit Key Triggers. I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice here that in the scale card section, there's only 12 cards. And if you want to map more than 12, you can type in the extra here. So if I want to put 13, I can do that, but we don't need that for now. So what I can do now is we can experiment with them. Oh, actually what I'm going to do, I want to change the cool scale on G a little bit. I want to just change just a little. I'm going to make these a little bit sharper. I'm going to make this a little sharper. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to play maybe a little bass line or something, get a little chord progression going. Let's see, let's say deep grind bass line. So I can play a melody here. I'm going to start with cool scale 1. And then cool scale 2. Then go to F. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a chord progression, and I'm just experimenting with changing those scales in real time using the key triggers. You can do that by clicking here. You can also do it by automating the active scale parameter in your DAW. There's a lot of ways of doing that. So basically, just to review, we went to a template, we altered the original scale, we copied and pasted it, we changed the key. Another way of changing the key, instead of just typing in the standard note names, is if you're into just intonation or you want a specific frequency as a fundamental, you can transpose here. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to double click this, put it back on middle C here as a standard, and I'm going to transpose this up by 3/2. If you don't know about just intonation, we'll save explanation of that for another video. For now, this is just for microtonalists who understand these ratios. So now, instead of the cool scale going up by a standard fifth, it's going to go up by a just intonation fifth. So I'm going to click times, and it's going up by that now. So it's very close to regular G. That's just to plant some seeds for future reference for those interested in doing exotic microtonal chord progressions. Now, another important thing when you're creating your own scales is you want to save them. Infinitone 2 does not have undo on certain features, so if you make a mistake, you can lose your work. So you can save here in this drop-down menu, or you can use this button and click save. And so I'm going to type in 4 cool scales. Now I want to show you another way to work with custom scales. Is you can find a scale that you like that's a preset in Infinitone. Let's see, I'm going to go to 7 tones and golden ratio scale. And you can paste that onto a grid for customization. So I'm going to go into the advanced view again. I'm going to copy that, and let's go to another template. A lot of people like to work in larger equal divisions of the octave. Standard tuning is 12, but there are other good ones such as 31 and 41 and 53. So let's go to equal palette 53. So this is equal divisions of the octave. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste and translate. And what that's doing is it's giving a similar scale from what you chose before, but it's finding the nearest notes in your new master tuning. So here we have 53 equal divisions of the octave, and now it sounds like this. And let's see, I'm going to find a different sound for that. And so from here, you can also use this grid of 53 EDO to change the scale. One thing I like to do is sometimes add close notes to it. So I'm just going to add notes above each one of these notes. So instead of seven tones in the scale, there's going to be 14. There's a lot of cool things you can do with having very close notes together. They kind of create beating effects, which I really like. Now, another way of approaching it is not to use a grid, such as an equal division of the octave or a harmonic tuning, but you can also just go completely custom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Templates, Blank, White Keys, and let's see, Blank Harmonic. So what this does is it has it's a harmonic series scale. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to click Make Custom. And what this does is it allows you to adjust the intervals by ear or put in your own intervals. So I can click on each of these notes, and now each one becomes individually adjustable. So I'm going to play this C to G. You'll hear that it's not a fifth anymore. So let's see, I wish I can make it a fifth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I can use this triangle down here in the note inspector to change the tuning. So I'm going to play the first note and the next note. I'm going to drag that by ear. Now let's see, let's do another one. And another one. Let's see. So I'm literally just tuning them by ear, just however I want to hear them in the moment. And let's change. You can change the synth patch to find something that matches the mood of the scale. You can also delete notes too. So I can click on a note here. Let's see, I'm going to click on this one. And then I can go to the scale inspector and I just click delete and it just disappears. And I can click delete and that disappears. And now I have a pentatonic scale. Pretty wacky. I like it though. I can also type in custom intervals. So if you're into just intonation or you know the kinds of intervals that you want, then I can type them in here. So let's see, I might want an 11/8 back in there. I can just type in the ratio and then comma, and then I can also put a cents value. I can put, let's see, 50 cents. And then I add those in. And you'll see that they come in as gray lines because they're not active yet. So in order to activate them, you can either click this all button here in the scale inspector, or to click none of them. To deselect all of them, you click none. And then I can choose which notes that I want. So I kind of like that. I'm going to deselect this one and maybe add, I don't know, 15/8 on that. Okay. And activate that. Okay. And another way, just for convenience, is you can also type in intervals with a return separation. So I can go 5, 4, and return, and then type in, let's see, 7, 4, and add them that way, like that, and include those in there too. That's convenient if you are selecting notes like this and you want to, let's see, I'm gonna copy this and clear everything here, paste it back in and add it, and I get the same notes. Deselect it, select all, and then I get my notes back. The way that Infinitone is set up, there's A's at the beginning of each of these scale slots. That's referring to the tuning method that's selected. What I can do is I can also go to B and I can choose a different tuning method. Let's say I want a harmonic tuning starting on harmonic 128. I'm going to get 128 notes. Then I can go here and select B, because now I'm scale slots 2. I'm going to select tuning B. Now I have this grid of 128 notes. Now I can just sort of type in whatever I want, right-clicking, or I can use the include/exclude button here. Bam, like this. And so I'm going to change the synth sound to just something random, maybe this, I don't know. Like that. And so now I have two different master sets. One is completely custom, and one I'm using this harmonic tuning that I made. And so each one of these scale slots, up to 64 slots, can use one of 4 master tunings, and you can select that here. Just be careful when you're changing master tunings that you'll know that anything that you change in that master tuning will affect all the other scale slots of that master tuning. I want to show one final thing. There's a preset here called, in 7 tones, called new colors over dominant chord, new colors over major chord, new colors over a minor chord. That's kind of what I did in general, is I took a high resolution master set. In this case, starting harmonic is 256, so there's 256 notes in the master set here. And I just put in different scales that fit over a dominant chord. So here's a harmonic scale. Here's something with a neutral 3 and 7. So if you're jamming along with your band and you have a dominant chord or a minor chord or a major chord, these ones are great, as you can jam over the dominant chord and get some really cool sounds that you wouldn't be able to get on a standard keyboard. This one has some beating tones. And so with a lot of these presets, they are just based on harmonic series grid. So I can even zoom in, and if I want to change these, I can too. So you can customize also presets to your own liking. And just make sure that anytime you do something that you like, save it. New colors, custom, and you'll have it for your own preset. Hopefully that gives you some good ideas on how to experiment with making custom scales. It's really, really fun to do, and there's a lot of techniques that we can explore and how to do it, but this is just a basic way to get started. And I just suggest to have fun, just to explore and experiment and try things out, and you don't even have to know what you're doing. Just go with your ear, go with your gut, and see what you come up with, and maybe you'll find a scale that's completely unique to you that's never been used before in the history of music. So it's really exciting territory to explore, knowing that you have a scale, you have a tuning that no one else has. Of course, you can share these presets with your friends. Just go to your user preset folder, and you can send those presets to your friends as well. But you can also keep it secret to yourself. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to sharing more advanced techniques for scale creation and custom chord creation in the near future.